Slide, virtual practice. Real impact enhancing graduate counseling programs with immersive technology. Accessible, innovative, relevant. Training for vocational rehabilitation. David Smith, presenter.
Hi everyone and welcome. Today we're diving into virtual practice real impact, enhancing graduate counseling programs with immersive technology. What that really means is we look at how tools like virtual reality, simulation labs, and AI-driven avatars are changing the way we prepare future counselors. This approach is meant to be practical and flexible, and it's especially valuable for training vocational rehabilitation and counseling professionals to meet the challenges of today's workforce.
Slide, logo, VR. Title, accessible, innovative, and relevant training for VR counselors. Text, this project was funded through a grant award from the U.S. Rehabilitation Services Administration Innovative Training Project, H263C190013.
This work is made possible through the U.S. Rehabilitation Services Administration Innovative Training Grant. The project runs through the West Virginia University Research Corporation with collaboration between the School of Education and Counseling and the Reed School of Media and Communications. I'll also add an important note that while the RSA supported this project, everything you see today reflects the work of our team, not official policy from the Department of Education.
Slide, Margaret Glenn, Ed.D., CRC, PI West Virginia University. Elizabeth Simpson, Ph.D., CRC, Co-PI, Evaluation, Methodist University. C. David Smith, M.A., Co-PI, Media West Virginia University. Barb Sheeter-Mayer, M.S., Instructor and Designer, Consultant.
So let me introduce our team. Dr. Margaret Glenn is our principal investigator. She brings more than 40 years of experience in rehabilitation counseling and really sets the vision for the project. Dr. Elizabeth Simpson leads evaluation and has worked both as a counselor educator and with the Job Accommodation Network, so she brings both academic and professional perspectives. I'm David Smith, and I handle media development, so I get to think about how we design and deliver these immersive tools. And finally, Barb Sheeter-Mayer supports as an instructor and designer, drawing on decades of experience in rehabilitation counseling, pre-ETS, and training. Together, we've built something that blends academic expertise, evaluation, and creative design, so the training is not only engaging, but also grounded and effective.
Slide, our collective impact. Together, the Air 4 VR team has designed pre-ETS training modules integrating immersive video, AI avatars, and virtual simulations. Delivered training that prepares counselors to better serve youth with disabilities, conducted evaluation and feedback cycles ensuring innovation meets educational and professional standards, advanced the field of counselor education by demonstrating how immersive technology transforms learning.
As a team, we've developed training modules that bring together immersive video, AI avatars, and virtual simulations. These are designed to help counselors prepare to serve youth with disabilities, especially in pre-ETS context. What makes this work different is that it's not just about creating new tools. It's about building in evaluation and feedback so we know what's working and can make adjustments along the way. In doing this, we're showing how immersive technology can really change counselor education. It shifts how we teach, how students learn, and how professionals practice.
Slide, learning objectives. Describe the roles of virtual reality, virtual simulation labs, and AI avatars in developing counseling competencies. Identify implementation strategies and infrastructure needs for integrating immersive technologies in counselor education. Examine the alignment of immersive training methods with CACREP standards and rehabilitation/counselor competencies. Discuss the ethical and accessibility considerations when using VR and AI in training environments. Evaluate the impact of immersive technologies on learner engagement, supervision, and real-world skill transfer.
Through this webcast and our Air for VR implementation materials, our goal is for you to walk away with a few key takeaways. You'll be able to talk about how VR, simulation labs, and AI avatars support skill development. You'll get a sense of what it actually takes to bring these tools into a graduate counseling program. We'll look at how these methods connect to CACREP standards and counseling competencies. And we'll talk openly about ethical and accessibility issues, because these tools have to work for all students. Finally, we'll consider how immersive approaches affect student engagement, supervision, and the transfer of skills into real-world practice.
Slide, challenges in counselor education. Workforce shortages and training gaps. Uneven quality of practicum sites. Traditional training models may not keep pace with the complex and diverse needs of today's clients. Student demand for flexible, engaging methods.
We all know the reality of counselor education right now. There are workforce shortages, practicum sites aren't always consistent in quality, and traditional training models sometimes can't keep up with the needs of today's diverse clients. At the same time, students want more flexible, engaging ways to learn. Immersive tools aren't meant to replace live practice, but they do give us new options for meeting those challenges head on.
Slide. Immersive solutions offer consistent, equitable, and scalable training experiences across programs. Safe environments to practice, reflect, and refine skills before working with real clients. Enhance student engagement and accessibility, bridging the gap between classroom learning and field practice. By standardizing key learning opportunities, immersive tools help ensure quality preparation for all counseling students, regardless of site availability or faculty resources.
That's where the immersive approaches come in. They make training more consistent, more equitable, and scalable across programs. They create safe spaces where students can practice, reflect, and refine their skills without the pressure of working with a real client right away. They also help connect the dots between theory in the classroom and practice in the field. And because these tools standardize core learning experiences, all students, no matter their practicum site or available faculty, get access to the same high-quality preparation.
Slide. What we found. Immersive technologies give students a space to practice, reflect, and fail safely. 93% of students report increased confidence in their clinical skills. 87% noted improved cultural awareness. 90% rated immersive simulation labs as highly satisfying learning experiences.
We've found that the results so far have been really encouraging. 93% of students told us they felt more confident in their clinical skills after immersive training. 87% reported greater cultural awareness. And 90% rated simulation labs as highly satisfying learning experiences. The numbers back up what we see in the classroom. Immersive training builds competence and confidence, while giving students the freedom to make mistakes and learn from them in a safe environment.
Slide. Immersive tech demonstration.
Now let's take a look at the technology itself. You'll see 360-degree videos that let students step into real counseling sessions, virtual simulations that create structured opportunities for practice, and VR enhanced with AI avatars that offer interactive feedback in real time. These demonstrations give you a sense of how immersive technology can fit right into coursework and become a natural part of counselor training.
Immersive video. A counselor goes to Fisher Auto Parts. She approaches the employer in the store.
Vocational rehabilitation counselors face complex situations every day, situations that require empathy, quick thinking, and strong decision-making skills. But preparing for those moments can be challenging when training relies solely on lectures or case studies. That's where immersive 360-degree video can make a difference. We've developed a series of immersive videos that place counseling students and working counselors right inside realistic scenarios they might encounter on the job.
Text. The Air 4 VR team has produced 360-degree videos to demonstrate how to effectively use the knowledge and skills covered in the course units. The videos are available to participants on demand. The 8 videos include 360 video example, Irish punts meeting 360, and client intake meeting 360.
Using 360-degree cameras and amateur actors, we recreate situations drawn from real vocational rehabilitation practice. Each video is built from a detailed script. Topics range from ethics and employer engagement to individual counseling sessions and IEP meetings. And because we follow a show, don't tell approach, each scene plays out naturally, giving viewers a chance to observe the flow of conversation, body language, and decision-making in real time.
Slide. Ethics script 360-degree video. Headings, purpose, introduction voiceover, scene directions with VO.
To create these videos, we start by writing a clear, realistic script based on common challenges counselors face. We then recruit amateur actors, often colleagues or community members, and coach them through the scenario. The 360-degree camera is placed in the center of the action, capturing the scene from every angle so viewers can choose where to focus their attention. The goal is authenticity, not polished performance, so the situations feel as real as possible. For every scenario, we present 2 versions. First, the wrong way to handle the situation, and then the correct approach. This contrast allows counselors to see exactly how small changes in tone, phrasing, or decision-making can dramatically shift the outcome. The experience is versatile. Viewers can watch in a VR headset for maximum immersion, or simply use a desktop computer, laptop, or phone. Regardless of the device, the first step of immersion is the same, what we call pre-reality.
Slide ethical dilemma 2.
This means viewers can feel fully present in a realistic environment without the pressure of making decisions themselves. They observe, reflect, and absorb best practices before applying them in the field.
Slide gift consideration questions.
Immersive 360-degree video offers counseling students and professionals a safe, engaging way to develop skills, improve judgment, and enter the field better prepared for the challenges ahead. One example is an employer engagement meeting, where a counselor must balance advocating for their client while building a productive relationship with the employer. Let's step inside that conversation and see how it unfolds.
The counselor steps into the Fisher Auto Parts store and engages with the employer.
Hi. Thank you so much again, Mr. Blair, for agreeing to meet with me.
They shake hands.
You know, I just can't help but notice how well organized and well stocked all the shelves and signage look.
Thanks. It's good to hear. It's what we're going for.
Well, as promised, I don't want to take up too much of your time, so I'll get right to my point. As I explained on the phone, I'm on the business services team for our state's vocational rehabilitation program, Voc Rehab, as we call it for short. We have a twofold mission. The first part is our business services program. We know how hard it is for employers to keep and hire good employees. And so we help employers identify any unmet business needs and help fulfill them.
I need to hire another employee. But I have to admit, I put it off because the hiring process is not a lot of fun.
Well, many small business employers feel the exact same way. I mean, they don't have HR departments to help them out.
Exactly.
Well, you know, I have good news. VR can be your HR department. For example, we can locate qualified employees, offer financial incentives, and expertise to help you retain employees.
Okay, I'm listening.
Slide virtual simulation.
The virtual simulation lab is another powerful way to bring counseling training scenarios to life. But unlike VR, it's not done in 3D. Instead, these sessions take place over Zoom, making them accessible to anyone with a computer and internet connection.
A panel of 5 virtual counseling professionals is juxtaposed next to a participant on the Zoom call.
What makes the virtual simulation lab unique is that it's powered by experienced professional actors using motion capture technology. The actors portray characters in real time, controlling digital avatars that participants interact with on screen. These actors don't just read from a script, they respond dynamically, adapting to what the counselor says and adding subtle gestures, expressions, and tones of voice to make the conversation feel authentic.
Image of a simulation professional outfitting a counselor with headset, sensors, and a conductive bodysuit.
To run your own simulation lab, you'd need to hire trained interactors and invest in motion capture equipment and software.
Article from Immersion Publication. Headline: The upskilling platform for a future-ready workforce.
That's why many organizations work with virtual simulation companies, such as Immersion, who contract with institutions like the University of West Georgia to create these labs. In our sessions, a live actor also does additional research on the role they'll be portraying, ensuring their performance feels realistic and relevant. Unlike VR roleplay, these labs require scheduling with a virtual simulation lab. You book a session and meet with the avatars at a set time. This synchronous format allows for real-time interaction and immediate feedback.
Slide see group work scenario. Part 1. Steps include 1. Facilitate introductions and explain purpose of meeting. 2. Establish group rules.
We developed our virtual simulation lab scenarios using the same kinds of situations and characters as our VR roleplay environments. The lab format allows for highly tailored, realistic practice with live, responsive characters. The virtual simulation lab offers a high-quality, accessible way to develop skills and build confidence without the need for participants to enter a 3D VR space. Let's see what a virtual simulation session looks like.
Video of a rehabilitation counselor performing the interview from a home setting.
Hi, folks. I'm really
Hi.
glad that you guys were able to come in and meet with me today. My name is Barb Schiedermeyer. I'm a rehabilitation counselor, and you are?
My name is Adam Walker, and I'm Jasmine's father.
Hi, Adam. Thanks so much for attending today. And this is Jasmine. Wonderful. I'm so pleased to meet both of you. Thanks for coming in.
So, look, I'm sorry to kind of cut you off here. I want to just kind of come out and say I I'm not really sure I understand why we're here, but I can tell you up front that I do not agree with this whole ADHD disability label that, some guy at the school feels comfortable putting on Jasmine. I mean, it really feels like we're jumping the gun here.
Oh boy. This is not uncommon when people receive a diagnosis like that. And it feels like it might be news to you and that somebody hasn't fully explained it. Is that possible?
In virtual reality, the role-play experience becomes an immersive, realistic, and impactful way to train vocational rehabilitation counselors, building communication skills, empathy, and problem-solving ability. Instead of acting out scenarios at a table, participants step into a VR environment that mirrors real-world situations with authentic settings, spatial perspective, and sound.
A web page from the Engage website. Title: Beyond the Classroom.
We run these role plays inside the Engage XR app, which works best on VR headsets, but is also accessible by desktop, tablet, or phone.
Download links offer access through Windows PC, Android, Meta, Apple Vision Pro, and Apple iOS.
Short orientation sessions help new users get comfortable. Participants log in with a character profile and custom avatar, playing roles such as an employer, a student, a parent, or another figure in a counseling scenario.
Slide C. Employer Engagement. Part 1. Steps include 1. Review business bios. 2. Anticipate questions and concerns. 3. Identify unmet business needs.
Scenarios start with a clear setup and character bios outlining background, needs, and concerns. We set learning outcomes and provide sample lines to help participants prepare without scripting the exchange. Here's a brief example of one of these sessions using human interactors playing these characters.
Slide Virtual Reality. An AI character representing a counselor leads the discussion.
All right, Jasmine, tell me a little bit more about what your school counselor said and why she suggested you come to see me.
AI characters respond: Mother, Teresa, and her daughter, Jasmine.
Well, she said like that I have because I have ADHD, so she said something about jobs and that it was something with like voc rehab or something. Mm-hmm.
Vocational rehabilitation?
Yes, that's what she said. Yes.
Okay. Yes. Okay. Well, they gave you the nuts and bolts of it. I do work for an agency that's called Vocational Rehabilitation. It works with people of all ages. And the newest thing we've gotten to do is be able to start working with kids who are your age and to prepare them for what they're going to do in their future as it comes from work or just what kind of life you want to have. So,
well, I don't know if I know I have ADHD, but I don't know if I actually have a disability. Like I don't think that I have an actual disability. It's just ADHD.
Yeah, we don't really use that term a lot, I guess. So I mean, she's got the IEP in place, and we know she's got some difficulty focusing and keeping attendance, especially at school when it comes to tests and, not looking out the window at the soccer field over there all day long.
Teresa, do you have anything to add from your perspective about what it's been like?
Yeah, I mean, I think it was a struggle. It's still a struggle sometimes. Some days it's a struggle more than other days, but it was a struggle when she was younger because I know I'm partial. I'm her mom, but Jasmine is so smart, and we know that she's going to do great things when she gets older, and will do well in college and go on and get a great job. But she just wasn't getting great grades at school, and her teachers would call me in to have another parent-teacher conference every other week, and it was really difficult trying to get the ADHD diagnosis, and then trying to navigate the process to get the IEP in place was a whole other thing. But she's doing much better now, and we're really happy about that.
AI character David presents from a salon setting where sinks and cabinets line the wall.
Now we can go further with AI-driven avatars. Instead of a live actor, an AI avatar responds dynamically to participants' words, allowing sessions to be run anytime without scheduling another person.
Slide Employer Engagement Exercise. The Head Shop Salon. Headings include instructions for AI avatar, your role, role play scenario, and presentation style and instructions.
The process is similar. Write the scenario, create the character bio, turn it into a detailed prompt, Then choose the avatar's appearance and voice.
AI character builder pages include character prompt and select an avatar. Virtual locations feature Gordon at the salon and Teresa at a pet grooming store.
The avatar holds a natural conversation, adapts in real time, and can give feedback afterward. Reusable prompts allow quick creation of new characters for counselor-client meetings, IEP discussions, or employer outreach. Participants can repeat exercises, test different approaches, and see how changes in tone or phrasing affect outcomes. By combining proven role-play techniques with AI responsiveness, we give counseling students and professionals a safe, flexible way to practice. Let's take a look at an example with an AI avatar.
An avatar named Gabriella.
Can you explain a bit more about how VR can help me?
Virtual David responds.
So first, I'll meet with you and discuss your unmet labor needs and identify specifically what kind of positions you're looking for. Then I'll work with my colleagues to identify a few candidates, and we'll bring them in for you to talk to and interview.
Gabriella replies.
I see, but how do I know if the candidates you bring in will actually be able to do the job? I've had recent hires who didn't show up or were consistently late. What guarantees can you provide regarding their dependability?
So I can appreciate how frustrating that must be for you. I'm happy to report that workers with disabilities, especially the workers in our program, have been found to be just as dependable, if not more dependable, than their non-disabled peers.
That's good to hear, but I still have concerns. If I hire someone and they don't meet the standards after a certain amount of time, am I stuck having to keep them? How does the law work regarding hiring and firing when it comes to workers with disabilities?
That's a great question. Well, while the law prohibits discrimination against qualified workers with disabilities, it does not require that you hire a worker who's not qualified for the job, nor does it prevent you from firing a properly trained worker who is not performing the job tasks as assigned.
David reappears in the salon.
Okay, now switch into feedback mode and give detailed feedback on my performance.
He switches back to the avatar meeting with Gabriella.
Certainly, I appreciate the effort you put into the role play. And here's some detailed feedback on your performance. Tone, you started off with a courteous and professional demeanor, which set a positive tone for the meeting. You acknowledged my time and showed appreciation, which helped establish rapport. However, there were moments when your responses could have been more conversational and engaging. A warmer, more personable tone would enhance the overall interaction.
Slide. Thank you for viewing the first part of our webcast. Join us as we introduce the Air for VR Immersive Counselor Education Implementation Framework, addressing how immersive technologies can foster skill development, provide authentic practice opportunities, and generate measurable evidence of student competency in alignment with KCREP standards. Presented by the Air for VR project team, West Virginia University. www.air4vr.com. Stop by and visit our site.
Thanks for being part of this first session. In our next webcast, we'll walk through the Air for VR Immersive Counselor Education Implementation Framework. This framework is all about how immersive technologies can support skill development, create authentic practice opportunities, and provide measurable evidence of competency, always in line with KCREP standards. If you'd like to learn more in the meantime, please visit us at air4vr.com.